What Fallout 5 will be, TechRadar reporters summarized rumors and expectations. 5 years have passed since the release of Fallout 4, and 2 years have passed since the release of the highly controversial Fallout 76. Should we expect soon information about Fallout 5? Hardly. Bethesda Game Studios is now fully loaded with Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6. The company certainly won't pull off another major project. If Fallout 5 is maturing within the walls of Todd Howard's studio, it is still in its infancy, when art is created and a potential location is selected. Nevertheless, the players and the press have the right to speculate and dream about such an anticipated game. This is what the journalists of the Western resource TechRadar did. They remembered that 7 years had passed between the release of numbered parts, between Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Logically, the fifth part is also worth waiting for about 7 years after the fourth, but here it is worth taking into account the employment of Bethesda Game Studios on Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6. Do not overlook the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, which may affect development in the long term. Therefore, TechRadar sees a more realistic release window for Fallout 5 around 2024. As for the platforms on which the game will be released, it is obvious that these will be PCs, Xbox Series X, S and, possibly, PlayStation 5. But in light of the deal with Microsoft, the decision to release on the Sony platform will most likely be made from above. What journalists are sure, the game will be released during the life cycle of these consoles and before the arrival of the next generation. It is almost impossible to predict where the events of the game will unfold at the moment. TechRadar would like Bethesda to explore different parts of the world and expand outside the US, but that goes against the series' motives and could scare away fans. So far, journalists have cautiously speculated that the game's actions could take players to New Orleans or Chicago. What Fallout 5 will definitely not feature is multiplayer. Bethesda got too burned with Fallout 76 and is unlikely to want a bad trail coming from the fifth part. Although, the authors of the article suggest, perhaps the developers will introduce some kind of social functions in the style of those that were in Dark Souls and Bloodborne. It's no longer a secret that Bethesda has carried out a major overhaul of its engine, the largest since Oblivion. Probably for Fallout 5, the technology will be improved even more. However, journalists say, developers, first of all, need to decide which functions of Fallout 4 were successful, and which ones require rethinking, and already from this build on when working with the engine.